What it do, y'all? It is me, Candace, at BeauteeInWriting, and today is another writing vlog. It has been a very slow morning on this Saturday, and it just has been absolutely amazing, and it's been very beautiful. And this morning I just went ahead and got me some breakfast. But yeah, just really excited that today is my birthday, and today is just gonna be a write with me on my birthday day. I've written down a list of things I wanted to chat with you all about, where I currently am in a process with Project 𝗬𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗡𝗘, and then some other developmental things that I have that I'm pretty excited about as well. So first we're gonna go up and talk about what my current read right now is. So right now, and I'll be honest with y'all, it has taken me a while to get to the meat and potatoes of this book, and not anything with the author or the book itself. It's just that I've been busy working with Project 𝗬𝗬𝗡𝗡𝗧 that I haven't really put so much focus in on reading. And while I've written down, y'all know I'll write down in my planner, my weekly planner to read, sometimes I may only read a chapter and that's not really getting me that far. So I think what I'll need to do is to really designate some time in a day to actually just sit down and read, because this is not normal that it's taking me this long to get through a book. This is atrocious that it's taking me this long. I started this book Christmas week 2025, and it is currently February 7th. And it normally does not take me this long to read a book, but current read right now is 𝗪𝗛𝗧𝗪 by 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗪. I am, at the stage currently right now, I believe it's chapter 18. Yep, chapter 18, still kind of setting up the stages, creating outlines of what we think are going to be outlines, and it's pretty good. And so what that's also going to bring me to next of what I wanted to chat to you all about is about a find that I found at Aldi. It's called Booked and Busy, and this is essentially just a journal for people who read books. And I thought this is really great to have so that I can reflect on the books that I read. I've already written down in here a reading wish list of some authors that I would like to read from. All of these books that are in here, these are books that I do not currently own. However, I would like to purchase those, but I thought about not gifting myself another book until I finish a book that I've read, even though I have 25 books in my TBR right now that I have not currently read. So once I finish one, I'll purchase another. The book that I would like to read after I finish Immortal Dark is Frank E. Peretti's This Present Darkness. That's the first installment to that series. But back to this reading journal, I thought this is a really cute book. So it has in here a book index that as you go to read, you'll write down the number of the book that you've read, and then you can look at writing down the title, the author, genre, the format of the book, and then what you rated it. And then as you look at the book index, if I wanted to deep dive in to think about more about the book of how I saw the book, there is an actual book review page, and this book review page has essentially the same things: book title, author, genre, the format that the book came in, the date started, date finished. I got this book from, the rating, and then also the summary of the book. And then on the backhand side, just a little bit more of like some thoughtful things that you can talk about the book, just to identify how the book made you feel, what are your thoughts from it, and things of that nature. So I thought this is really great to have, just because reading honestly is very fundamental. Next up on the list is to show you all what I recently picked up from Barnes & Noble. And I am like pretty darn excited about these purchases. So I know that we can all resource to going to the internet or finding the information that we need. However, nothing beats actually holding literature in your hand or just resources in your hand. So the first thing that I did pick up, and we all had this growing up in our households. I'm not sure, well, I can't say all because I can't, and it will be really wrong for me to speak for everybody, but I know what my mama had in her household because she was not raising no uneducated children. But went ahead and picked up a Webster dictionary, as well as a thesaurus. I know I can go on the internet for that, but again, I would like to increase my vocabulary. Instead of using basic level words or like the next tier level of words, I would like to expand on that. Also, reading more advanced books for words that I don't necessarily understand. I am going to get a journal. I'll probably find a plain notebook that I have in a closet somewhere, because I always have a notebook. And if it's a word that I don't necessarily understand, I'm gonna go to the Webster dictionary, write that word down, what it means, and then use it in a sentence. And that's how I'm going to help build my vocabulary. So I know that I can go online to get a Webster dictionary, but nothing beats actually having it in your hands and understanding. And this is very important nowadays, that making sure, because you just never know where this world is gonna go. There's so much information that's being taken away from us, information that's trying to be hidden. So it's really good to have everything. I don't know. This is me and my husband's viewpoint on this. It's good to have it in hand so that this knowledge can be transferred to someone else once you are finished with it, as opposed to having everything electronic and then once it's gone, that's it. You don't own anything. You won't have proof of anything. So really think it's really great to have a physical copy of things, just so that you can keep it for years and years. Vocabulary Builder Workbook, simple lessons and activities to teach yourself over 1,400 must-known words. So I know this seems a little kiddish to get, but again, I am trying to increase my vocabulary, not just in my writing, but also in my everyday speech. And so I thought that this book would be very helpful for me to get. Just so that it can just teach me some fundamental words on really how to use them, identify roots and like form of associations, and just working on advanced vocabulary acquisition, it says. And also too, this is really great. It says retention tools with activities at the end of each lesson to apply what you have learned. So this is pretty interesting. I'm pretty excited about it. I know it's like, Candace, why would you pick up something like that? I'm grown, I can do whatever I want. So this Barnes & Noble trip was actually very fun that we did, because this was more of self-development, like a self-development reflection when going to Barnes & Nobles. But I did pick up this book called Writing Fantasy and Science Fiction, How to Create Out of This World Novels and Short Stories by Orson Scott Card, Philip Athens, Jake Lay, and the editors of Writer's Digest. Other book that I have from Philip Athens is Writing Monsters, which is really great. So I found this book there, and I thought that this would be really great because Project 𝗬𝗢𝗡 is an adult dark fantasy novel. And so I would like to work on writing fantasy the right way. I stood about 10 minutes in Barnes & Noble checking out this book just to really get a deep dive in of how things work. I have a general knowledge of how to write fantasy, but I'm not just writing a book just to write a book. I really want to, create systems in this book and make it seem very believable. So I finally picked up the ink, y'all. So y'all know what that means. I finally picked up the ink, y'all. All of the scenes for Project 𝗬𝗢𝗡, we're going to cut out the scenes and we're going to place them onto poster boards, and we're going to place them on the wall, and we're going to read everything through like it's a movie script. Not really a movie script, but I just need to see everything like a mural on the wall, so I can see like, this is great here, this is great there. I am figuring out what best works for me for the next time that I do write my next novel. I'm really figuring out my process and how I need to see and visualize and put all the pieces together. So I'm pretty excited about that. So y'all, this is so stinking cute. I cannot wait to eat it. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, that was a lot of work to do. I literally contemplated, I think I want to say that took me around 3 hours to do. It is now 4 something in the afternoon, and that was a lot. This is the mess that I made, cutting up everything. And I did think about putting them on index cards, but the more I thought about it, I'm like, no, because when I write out scenes, I like to be detailed as possible so that I can go back to them to know exactly what is going on in certain scenes. So this is Act 1 here. This poster board I had to extend out because there was a lot more I needed to detail. Then we have Act 2, Act 3, and Act 4. So it is all complete. The goal is to hang them up on the wall here so that I can read it and go from there, make changes if I need to, but to begin the writing stages. Now I do have extra cardboard here, construction paper. So my goal is with the extra construction board paper is to, one of them create a map, the other put the magic system on, and maybe a few other details on the different species I have to let myself remember just different things about their culture, where they come from, what they can do, what they cannot do, what their limitations are, where they originated, their spirituality, religion, their governmental practices, and things like that. Create another bulletin board to put those things on there. I've already have them written down in Milanote, but I want to get them onto the construction paper so I can have it like a look at a glance type of deal. So yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I'm a lot of spent. This has been a great birthday vlog, and this was a lot of fun. This is the part where I was so excited to get to because I wanted to see my story in real time plastered up on the wall so that I can review the story and begin the writing phase. I've always thought about doing a map for my story just so that things make sense and where things are being located. Currently in my story, all of the towns that I have, events and things like that, they are made up towns, but in real states that we have here in America. But I'm thinking about changing those states' names. I don't know. Depends on how I can do away with playing with words. But the next step is I definitely want to create a map of what things look like. I was using Incarnate. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. I want to say this was maybe when I was midway through of writing my first draft, and I started using it and it looked a complete mess. So I was like, Candace, just finish the story out because you don't know where things are really going to be and what they really look like and things like that. So I stopped on that. But I think I want to go the simple route of maybe just drawing shapes just to get an idea of where I want things to be. And when it comes time to actually print the book, or well before that, then I can go in and actually make a map of what things really look like. So but yeah, but this has been real fun today on my birthday. So excited. This has been a great task. I'm not going to use my entire birthday today just to do a full day of writing stuff. Either may watch Lord of the Rings or I may watch possibly Sinners. I'm just going to figure that out which one I'm in the mood for to do. So but we'll see. But I'm going to enjoy my birthday for the rest of the day. I'm so fulfilled today, so excited that I turned another year. This year has been really great. This past year has been really great, and just looking forward to continued growth for myself and where I will be next year around this time. Just really and truly excited about that. So this is the end of the video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching my video today, and thank you for being along on my journey as I am working on my debut novel. But yeah, if you are someone who does a method like this, I know I could have put it on index cards, but I write a lot, but this is how I'm figuring out how I need to understand things. I think this is a great way for me, and I'm just figuring out my process along the way. Let me know down below how you all do your process as far as writing your novel. If you're on your journey of doing so, whether it's your first novel or it's a novel that you've been working on for some time, but just let a girl know in the comments and we can just have a chit chat about that, best practices, feedback, anything, etc. So whenever you're watching this video, I hope y'all have a good rest of the day, because your girl will have a good rest of the day. And be careful on the things that you digest in this world. It's really hard not to digest them, because if you are a human and you truly care for other people, then I understand that these things do bother you, which they do bother me. But still, always try to make time for yourself, to just break away from everything, to recenter yourself. And don't forget that your spirit deserves rest. It deserves peace, and it deserves kindness, and it does deserve all of the good things. So with that being said, I hope y'all have a good rest of the day. Happy birthday to me. I'll see y'all next time.